Today, Joe V is learning all about one of the most celebrated bands of all time and even their brief connection to Portland. He is live at the Oregon Historical Society to tell us more about the new exhibit dedicated to the Beatles.
Thank you very much, Kim. And I am doing my best Ringo Starr impersonation right now with a little help from Ringo Starr. Check this out. It's an interactive drumming lesson that is all part of, ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles' new exhibit here at the Oregon Historical Society. Now, this exhibit has actually been all over the world. It was most recently in Japan. And one of the gentlemen who helped create the whole thing, this is Chuck Gunderson. Good morning, Chuck.
Hey, Joe. How you doing?
Good. Now, you are a Beatles fan, collector. And basically, you and a group of other people that got together, you said, we want to put together an exhibit all about the Fab Four, right? Tell us about the idea.
Yeah, we did. We were sitting down one day back in the late 2000s, and all these exhibits were coming out about Titanic and Princess Di's dresses and Barbie dolls. And we said, why isn't there anything out there on the greatest rock and roll band in history? So we finally found a partner a few years later in the Grammy Museum. We culled our collections together. People collected different things in our group. There's 4 of us. And we decided to help the Grammy out and curate this thing, and it's been on the road ever since 2014.
And literally one-of-a-kind pieces. I mean, for instance, clothing. This is, actually, I was doing a little Ringo Starr there. This is Ringo's jacket from A Hard Day's Night?
That's right. Yeah, that is Ringo's jacket from the movie A Hard Day's Night. Is black on black striped coat. You can see how narrow Ringo's shoulders were.
Wow.
But this is an incredible piece, came directly from Ringo. He held an auction a few years back, and one of our group members got that.
Okay, so what was it about the Beatles that spoke to you? Because there is, I mean, it's cross-generational. I mean, there's people, young people, old people that are still very much into the Beatles. They haven't played together in 50 years. They broke up over, 50 years ago? I think 1970, right?
1970, yeah. Yes.
So what is it about them that they can carry a whole exhibit all these years later?
You can ask anybody. Everybody has a different story about how they fell in love with the Beatles, Joe. I mean, it's different for everyone. For me, I'm a later bloomer. I mean, I call myself a Generation 1.5 fan. Because I fell in love with the Beatles in high school in the late 70s, where other groups of people, obviously saw them on the Ed Sullivan Show firsthand, and that's when they fell in love with them. And we have kids today falling in love with them now.
They sure do.
And so it's going to just happen and continue to happen for eternity, probably.
Well, let's walk down here. I want to show off one more thing that really kind of caught my attention here. But the exhibit, ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles, it opens to the public tomorrow right here at the Oregon Historical Society. It's going to be here for several months, so you can check it out. We'll have more information, of course, at kptv.com. Now, Kim and Tony, if Tony, our resident Beatles fan, is in there too, I want to show this to you because this is another really cool item. So you remember earlier we showed you the playlist. It was for the first ever Beatles concert in the United States, right?
Right.
Well, this is from their last concert in the United States. See that little tiny thing?
Yeah.
So that's a playlist that George Harrison had stuck on his guitar.
Come on.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And you can just, if you get a microscope, I can't even, Rock and Roll is the first song there. She's a Woman. Let's see, Wanna Be Your Man, Nowhere Man, Paperback Writer, and Long Tall Sally. They closed it out again. So, I mean, incredible. So, I mean, again, one of a kind doesn't even begin to describe some of the pieces you're going to see here. Chuck, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And we're going to have more with you later in the show, including, guys, we're going to show you some cool artifacts. The Beatles spent one day in Portland in 1965. We're going to show you some of those items coming up in just a bit. Let's send it back to you.
So neat.